Welcome back, everyone, to episode 4 of the Prince Huda podcast. Happy New Year to all our listeners and viewers. I'm your host, Prince Huda, and I am joined by a man who started off the new year pretty strong in the content game, the man, the myth, the legend, Coach Chippy. Coach Chippy, Happy New Year. How you doing?
Prince, Happy New Year. I don't think we've had a conversation since the New Year, have we? Maybe one phone call.
We did the last episode. I was on vacation. It was like the Saturday before the New Year. So yeah, I think this is the first interaction, if you will, of the new year.
Well, Prince, Happy New Year, big dog.
Happy New Year.
How's the first 6 days going? Yeah, we do.
Hey, we didn't even plan that. The matching hats today.
No, we
Style
didn't.
and Flow beanie. TeamStyleandFlow.com.
Style and Flow, baby. We're not thinking too much. They're not available right now. That's actually something I got to figure out, is getting these beanies up on the market. But yeah, Happy New Year. 6 days into the new year. I don't think I left the house for the last 2 days. I just mentioned I've been making content. Unhealthy. Don't follow what I've been doing because it's not healthy. I don't think I've seen sunlight in 72 hours. But yeah, we've been really cranking some content. The World Jays were on, and I did ruffle some feathers with some Swedish fans there.
I saw that. I haven't seen you ever get hate that much, but I was like, wow, look at the comment section turning on you here a little bit.
But I never had Sweden fans or Sweden viewers before, so I had the whole country tapped in. And they weren't too happy with some of the takes I was making. But I mean, when you're spitting facts, you're gonna offend some people, right? So I had to lay back a little bit, and then I sent them some love in my latest video. I said, hey, it's okay, you can't win it all. Coach Chippy sent a love to Sweden because it is tough when your favorite team loses or when your nation loses and you're on home soil and you haven't won a gold medal in how long? I don't even know when the last one they. So I can just feel empathy for them because yeah, it's a difficult time. I mean, for Canada, we got bounced in the quarters. I feel like it's almost easier to get bounced in the quarters just because it's less devastating. Like, you weren't even close to a medal. Whereas like when you're like in the gold medal game and then you don't win it, it's like, man, like we don't even really care about this silver medal because you'd rather win a bronze because you're actually winning the bronze versus losing the gold. Like, that's tough stuff.
Yeah, silver,
yeah,
like
that was my week.
It feels like a consolation prize, right? Because it's you didn't win, but here's your award. I saw the clip that was making the rounds on Twitter the other day. It was the last time Sweden won silver. A player got the medal, they put it on him, he took it off, he threw it into the crowd.
A guy did that at this one too. He gets the medal, he goes, nah, I'm not feeling this silver, tosses it into the crowd. I feel like you're going to be rethinking that maybe a couple days from now. You're like, man, I wish I had that silver. I bet you they gave it back to him. Like, but
I don't know if I'm that fan. I'm going straight through eBay and I'm like, silver medal. You saw him throw it into the crowd. This is the one.
They probably make it so like they can't escape the building with it. Like, they're probably like, nah, you got to give that back. Like, a security guard probably went in there. Like, that is tough stuff though. Like, that just shows the emotion. Like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, is this guy got heavy compete? Is that a sore loser moment?
Yeah, I think it's like, it's in the moment. It's sore loser. You know, remember we talked about a few weeks ago, the Patrick Mahomes complaining after the game. Like, in the heat of the moment, these guys have put so much of their mind and their bodies into this. So to not come up with the result they want in the moment, yeah, screw it, I don't want this. But I'm sure as he got off the ice, talked about it with his teammates, unwinded, he's probably like, I kind of need that medal back. Because it is pretty impressive. I mean, a silver medal, that's still number 2 out of, I'm not sure how many teams, but like number 2, like that's pretty impressive at the world stage.
Yeah, it's tough stuff. Like, at the end of the day, like, throwing it, it's just like a crybaby move. Like, it's just a tough look. Like, I wouldn't want to be going viral online for getting a medal and toss. Like, it just shows like, man, have some emotional intelligence here and some emotional awareness to just like breathe. It's not the end of the world. It does show a lot of compete. Like, I don't know if like an NHL team's if an NHL team's looking at that, is this guy a hothead? Like, can we not take this guy? Is this guy psycho? Is he tossing this silver medal up and he has no emotional control? Like, you know what I mean? So that could be a tough look for NHL teams, or if he's on an NHL team already, I think he might be. Might be a tough look, like just from a like what's it called?
Emotional
Personality. Like if you're like trying to pick a guy on your team, like are you picking that guy that just does that, or are you picking the other guy that like took the loss, is learning from it? But again, it is in the heat of the moment, so you do some irrational things when you're reacting with emotion. So I'm not judging them, but NHL teams might. You know what I mean? Coach Chippy's out here. I accept everybody, but these NHL teams, they're giving you a $10 million contract. They're going to want you to behave in a certain way. So who knows what that situation's going to unveil.
Yeah, I'm imagining like after the game, he's probably like, well, shit, I shouldn't have done that. Let me go get it back. And even like you think about the people responding to your video with hate, like it's all in the moment, right? They're just emotions are riled up. Yeah. Like they probably don't mean that, or maybe they do.
I felt bad.
You know what I mean? You did? Were you a little salty that Canada? No, be honest. Were you a little salty that Canada lost there?
Bro, I didn't care. Like, I mean, for me, it was like I'm trying to take an angle that's like funny, right? So like I had forgotten about the Canada loss. Like right after, I was cheesed at the very beginning, like right when we lost. I couldn't believe it. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And I'm like, "Oh man!" Like I wanted to make content for the Canada team, and then I kind of was like, nah, like I can make content about them losing. I can now make a video about Bedard. I was like, oh, okay, like this is like for me, it's about the content. Like I love making good content. So when Canada's out, less people are going to watch the World Juniors. But that wasn't the case. My best videos were when Canada got bounced, and I was doing the Team USA videos. And I was messaging all the
people love to hate on Canada, though, right? Everyone loves dunking on Canada, whether it's sports, politics, movies, like anything. People
especially with hockey, because we're always bragging and we're always winning. We always play the World Juniors on our home soil. So like the reffing, like I was going at the reffing pretty hard. So I mean,
it was terrible though. Like that was well justified.
Like it wasn't not
that
like
was terrible.
Was that homer? Like I wasn't being a homer. Like I was like just calling out all of it in every game. Like there were calls that were just absolutely absurd. And they were all going towards Sweden's way.
Crazy. Yeah,
well, Sweden. I
was watching that. Though. I was watching that on the beach, like on my phone, and like that hit on Beck, 5-minute major. They review it for 20 minutes. Oh, no penalty. Like what happened in that headset that they're standing there? Like, yeah, it's actually not a penalty. Like that. Like, I've never seen that before.
That one wasn't like that one was like okay, may or may not have been a penalty. Like I think it could have been a boarding. Like he did turn that one. That one was questionable, but the poke, if you watch the quarterfinals, I think it was Sweden versus who was Sweden playing? Swiss. It was last minute 30 of the game, and this guy, it's like a scrum in front. This guy kind of just gives him a little like stick poke, like don't come near my goalie, like you know what I mean. It's a minute 30 left in a tied elimination game, and Stripes calls a 5-minute major for like a poke after the last 5 minutes of not calling anything. Like the guys were slashing, cross-checking. You didn't call any of that, but you called a little poke. And then I'm like, oh, this is gonna make for like a funny video. Like I can now try to get in the mind of this referee that's absolutely lost their mind and calls a 5-minute and then ends up receding it to a 2. But you're giving a Sweden team a power play in the last minute 30 of a game going into overtime, and then you call another penalty on Switzerland in overtime. Like you have to like be extremely violent in overtime for a penalty to be called. Like it has to be so blatant and so obvious. Like the whistle needs to be away. Like you could pretty much get away with anything in overtime, in my opinion. That's how it should be. But they end up calling a little hook on the Switzerland team, and then next thing you know, they're scoring a power play goal in overtime to advance to the semifinals. Like I thought that was like 2 power plays in the last minute of the game. Like, are you kidding me? I was a little bit disappointed in that kind of reffing. And then the Sweden fans didn't like that. Actually, it's been, you know what I mean? Well, they're winning, and they're like, oh, like this guy's salty that Canada got bounced. So, yeah, that was pretty funny. I was going through the comment section a little bit like, oh, okay, like this isn't good.
Okay, so did it get to you a little bit, or was it like, whatever?
The comments did, because everyone's calling me salty, and I'm like, nah, like I don't even care. Like, I'm out here like just making funny content, and everyone's like, oh, this guy's so like, I'm like, okay, guys, like relax. You know what I mean? Like, but
yeah, because that's funny because the rep series that I've done with the NFL, where it's like I'll do skits or react to like bad calls, And then the angle I take is always the reason the call was bad because it's all rigged and the ref has money on the team that he made the call in favor of, right? And like it's comedy, right? Anyone that watches it with a sensible eye is like, oh, like it's a funny way of poking fun at a situation, right? But then there's people that are like, you absolute buffoon. You're clearly taking the glasses off. You're ridiculous. Like I get a lot of like, because that doesn't really get to me because I know it's a joke, but like sometimes these people that get so mad about like jokes, like, so remember the video of the referee that fell and Lamar Jackson tripped over him, right? So I did a video, the ref dove on purpose so Lamar Jackson could trip and get the save, right? Obviously it's a joke. But man, I had never seen more hate on a video than that one. People were like, "You're delusional. What are you talking about?" And it's just like, guys, like it's humor. Like let's laugh at ourselves.
No, it goes over heads for sure.
And then people accuse me of being fans of the teams that I'm making the jokes of.
Yeah, it cheeses you.
It's ridiculous.
You want to respond to every comment, but like you can't because then they're winning. Because when you respond, they're winning. And then now it's like me, bro. There's like 800 comments on like couple of those videos, like 800 comments. Like everyone just like all these Sweden fans are just like commenting. I was like, holy crap. Like, and then I kind of wanted them to win so I could make like a video, maybe get on their good side, but then they got bounced again in the medal rounds or in the gold medal game. And I was like, man, that's tough. Like that video went crazy though overnight. It's
they all are because I didn't think anyone, like we talked about this, I didn't think anyone outside of Canada watched World Juniors, but it's clearly like, even if they don't watch the games, they're following it on a level of social media because I'm sure there's more people watching your videos than there are watching these games. So
that's what I do. The comments are saying.
Probably
saying
for sure.
They're like, oh, like I don't even watch the World Juniors. Like I would just watch your videos. Like I don't even watch hockey. Like you just keep me up to date. So there's a lot of people, I see commenting that are like, like I just watch your videos. I don't even really watch hockey, or thank you for introducing me to hockey. And I was going through last night. I was kind of reading some comments. You try not to get lost in there, but for the most part, the comments are pretty positive. So it kind of reinforces like what you're doing. And then obviously the negative ones, you kind of just got to brush off. And sometimes I delete them if they're like super bad. I'm like, I don't need to see that in my comment section. Like, let me delete that, because you could control your comment section too. Like that's what's crazy about, like, you could just delete all the bad comments. You can, it's pretty joke. So like when you see a comment section, you don't even know if that's the true comment section.
Well, sometimes it's like it'll say hidden by Instagram or hidden by TikTok, and then they'll be like
hidden by Instagram crap.
I don't like that because they'll accuse me of hiding their comments. It's like, no, like I didn't hide it. The social media platform hid it. In fact, I invite it. Like I want to see it. The only comments that I delete,
I unhide everything.
Only racism. Like if I get racist comments, that's when I'm like, all right, I don't need this. Like I don't want people to see that kind of stuff. So that's the only time I'll delete comments. But if you're hating, like sometimes I'll get back. And like one guy told me the other day, touch grass, and I found that hilarious. So sometimes they do make me laugh. Yeah, touch grass.
What's that mean?
Like it's like it was like a Twitter thing where like people that sit inside all day on their phone, like they don't go outside. So it's like,
dude, I would actually be offended by that because I'd be like, yo, there's a couple comments where I'm like, yo, like this guy doesn't have a life, man. Like, and I'm like, low key, I don't, dude. Like low key, I spent 10 hours making TikToks yesterday and didn't have a human interaction and didn't leave the house. So I'm like, yo, some of those hit home, and I'm like, yo.
So you should touch grass. Like that applies. You should touch grass.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I need to touch grass because I don't think I've touched grass in the last like 2 weeks with this World Juniors on. Like it's been wake up, watch 3 games of hockey, report on all of them, and then leave the house at like 10:30 to go to the gym. Come back, have a burrito, and then scroll on my phone and look at all the comments on my videos and then go to bed.
That's true.
If you want to know what's actually been happening, there's my life right there in a nutshell last 2 weeks.
Pulling back the curtain. Well, honestly, like it's funny because that was it for you. For me, the next 2 weeks, or at least weekends, is going to be like that for me. NFL wild card, divisional, conference playoff, Super Bowl. Like this is the peak of the year for football fans and football content because every playoff game, there's like 1 or 2 bad calls that are just always game defining, always ridiculous. So I'm going to be watching from the lens of a fan, but also from the lens of a content side of things, and even take that same approach of just watching every game and refusing to touch grass.
Yeah, you have to, dude. Like, and that's like what I realized with this World Juniors. It's like when there's attention on something, like it's really good for content creation. It's really good if you can come up with a creative outlook because it gives the fans an outlet to express themselves. That's really what I was doing with these videos was people wanted me to post so they could talk about the thing that they just watched and they can express how they feel about it. And that's why it gets so heated in the comments because everyone's out there expressing their opinion, which I think is important. Like everyone wants to feel understood. I don't comment on people's like videos. Like that's not something I do. Like I use like my videos as a form of my expression. So it's like funny seeing people just take these comments so seriously because I'm like, oh, it's like an online platform. But then you fail to realize these are actual human beings that are like behind their screens. Like, and like my goal isn't to like get someone angry with my video. Like that's not what I really wanted to do. So I actually wrote in my journal after that. I was like, yo, it's not really fun making videos that make other people get angry. Like, that's not really what I want to do. So, but it is tough when you're reporting on a hockey game where one team has won and one team has lost, and it's going to be difficult to. But I try to maybe make them see, okay, don't take it so serious. Like, relax. It's just a game. You know what I mean? So like, there's also that angle as a comedian that's like, can I make you laugh even if your team's losing?
Yeah, I guess it's hard to control. Like you can't control how people are going to react to your videos. You can obviously put your spin on it, and people, your fans know who you are and how you approach these videos. But to someone that's never seen a video of yours before, like, what is this? What is this bozo talking about? I don't like this. So I gotta type it out because they maybe never have seen you before, and so they're like, what is this guy? What is this thing? So yeah, I guess that just happens with the more exposure, right? As much as you get love, you get hate, but. Yeah. Sometimes the hate is fun. I'll only respond to hate comments if I think I can ratio them. So if I'm ever going to ratio someone, so one guy, I remember he said something somewhat mean, and then his profile picture was him flexing his bicep, and I just responded, my bicep's bigger than yours, and I ratioed him. And I was like, that's the kind of hate I like responding to because it's just funny.
Yeah, like when your comment gets more likes than theirs.
Yeah. That's like a Twitter.
Oh yeah, it's nice.
Ratio. Yeah, it is nice, fun ratio.
It's nice when you get back at someone and your comments like got way more likes than theirs, and then you're like, yeah. Buddy, like take a seat, take a step.
You never hear from them again. Yeah, they're done.
Yeah, no, it's pretty jokes, but like, yeah, for the most part, as a creator, I feel like you shouldn't be in your comment section a lot, but I feel like it's inevitable because you want to see how people are responding to the video you made. But it is jokes when people are just so heated, and there's like I'll look through sometimes and there'll be like 14 replies and people are like writing full paragraphs, like completely going at it with each other in my comment section about a Matthews 30 goal season or something like that. And it's like, holy, how did you guys end up arguing down here? Like, how did we end up here? It's actually insane.
Those are the people that need to touch grass, not us. They need to touch grass.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I feel like saying, but then I feel bad, like, oh, like I was like, like people are like, oh, we're living rent free in your head. And I'm like, you guys are living rent free in my comment section.
Yeah, you can't say that, I guess, because of your platform, but like that is hilarious. Like one day you just go, oh, you did? It was probably a ratio too.
Well, then sometimes sometimes I'll comment on my own video, but then like people don't see it. It's like weird. I don't think you can pin TikToks. TikTok.
No, you can't. You can't pin those.
So annoying, bro.
I feel you. I'm guessing you don't get a lot of racist stuff.
No, I don't. No, most of my stuff is like first, second, third, fourth. Holy, yeah, this was fast. Holy, I was quick. Here before viral.
He got them written down. They're like bots. Oh, that's jokes.
Chippy's the GOAT.
I mean, Chippy's the GOAT. I see that one a lot. Does the GOAT respond?
Does the GOAT respond? I love it.
My favorite is, I love it. Now that people know that we're connected, I'll get DMs. Yo, can you tell Chip to follow me back? Can you tell Chip to respond?
No way.
I'm like, bro, like, what about me? What about a Prince response? What about breaking news as we are recording? Connor Bedard, broken jaw, out 4 to 6 weeks.
No way, dude.
Resident Bedsy expert, Coach Chippy. I saw the hit yesterday. It looked pretty bad. You just didn't want him to be pulled out of All-Star Weekend with that being that close. But man, immediate thoughts. Bedsy's out for almost 2 months.
I saw the hit. I think it was just a unlucky placement of like his forearm to the jaw. I don't think it was intentional. You hate to see that, especially in his rookie year. He's been close to a point per game. He's starting to come into his own, starting to like get comfortable. I think he's going to make a quick comeback. I actually think it might be actually good for him to have a couple nights off to kind of reflect on kind of where he's at. It was such a hectic beginning to the season with how they started with the media on him. So I think it actually might be a blessing in disguise. I know him getting hurt isn't great, but it might actually allow him to reset mentally and take another step forward with his game. So hopefully he can come back quick and he could take this time to kind of just clear his mind, reflect, and come in for the second half of the season with a more clear headspace.
It's a great analysis. You won't see that on TV. People go right away. Was the hit dirty? Was the hit clean? Whereas you just said, you know what? Hit the hit, whatever it is, what it is. Bedsy will come back stronger. So
he's gonna come back. He's gonna come back, and
he'll come back. He's what, 18, 17?
He's 18, and I think it's a fractured jaw. He'll be fine. I think he could probably still play. I don't know how that works if you just have a bubble on. I think you can still play. Like you can still practice. You can still.
I guess why risk it with his team not being in a playoff position though?
No, but like he could still practice. I mean,
yeah,
like he could still stay on the ice and keep his legs like going. But obviously, yeah, you probably wouldn't want to utilize him if you're the Chicago in a game right now because you are rebuilding your team's out of a playoff spot and let them heal up, let them recover, and let them watch some of the games from the stands, and you might learn something. You might learn something about how these other teams are playing. You can learn just watching the game. You know what I mean? He studies the game, so I'm sure he'll be using his time very wisely, even when he is out.
It's fair. And I think probably the biggest loser is Blackhawks season ticket holders or United Center trying to sell tickets to games because, I mean, we went to United Center for a Bulls game. That is a fun place to watch a game. We saw a Bulls game, not a Blackhawks game, but I'd imagine you're not selling many tickets when your team's playing like that and the star player is out for 6 weeks.
Yes. Yeah, that's definitely a blow for the economy of the Chicago ticket sales, but I'm sure I think they sold out their season tickets beginning of the season before it even, right when he got drafted or something like that. So I'm pretty sure they're going to be pretty good for the coming years. They might have Macklin Celebrini coming to the Blackhawks. Like, it's actually insane. They're going to be nasty. So it's going to take a while, though. It's going to take years. It's probably going to take years to rebuild that team. They're probably going to try to do it quicker, but I could see it taking a while. Like, it's difficult to build a playoff team and then a Stanley Cup contender is an even different beast. So we're seeing that a little bit with the Leafs.
Oh, God.
I think we need to make some moves. I don't know what needs to happen, but Matthews just keeps scoring at a high rate. Defense, yeah, it's defense, isn't it? Isn't it, Prince? It's defense.
I watch these games and it's just like when they do the starting, like here's your top forwards, you're like, wow, like nobody in the league can compete with these forwards. And then they go to the defense and it's like, okay, probably every team in the league can compete with these defense. And then the goalies, whatever that situation is a mess right now.
Marty Jones, though.
Are you panicking?
Marty Jones almost had back-to-back shutouts. He had like 8 periods without getting scored on.
What do you do with him when Wall comes back? Is he starting? Is he in there till he fails and loses his job? What do you do with them?
Apparently, there's another guy coming up from the AHL that's like 6'7" or something like that. So he was maybe supposed to start against the Ducks, but I think we needed that win. Like, we need these wins. Like, we're not locked in to a playoff position right now. Like, we're competing heavily with some other teams. So I think we might start this new guy. I'm just making this up right now. I don't know. Tonight's Saturday night.
Do you know his name? Yeah, are we just
San Jose Sharks are the last place team in the league. They're probably going to start this new guy. I have no idea.
Okay.
I haven't done my research, but
we'll see.
Yeah, the Leafs are looking.
By the time this comes out Monday, so by Monday, this guy may already have a shutout under his belt, or he may have gotten blown out by the Sharks. We don't know.
Yeah, we actually don't know. That's very true. We're gonna have to reconvene on that on Monday when we're watching the episode.
Well, speaking of stuff you watched this week, did you see the Jersey Jerry from Barstool hole-in-one stream? 36 hours this guy stood in front of a golf simulator to hit a hole-in-one, and he finally did it.
What a legend, dude. What a legend. Like, that's such good content. He's hilarious, too. Like, I watched him play against Portnoy in their little betting match, and it was just jokes. Like, they always get such good talent to like these characters that they develop. And yeah, Jersey, what was it, Jersey Jerry?
Jersey Jerry. Yeah, he's a big football guy, so his content is always like big. But like, I think this was the first time he broke into that, next level. I remember was watching it in the morning. So the night he started, the morning after I was watching it, he was at like 40,000 subscribers on YouTube, and by the end of the stream, he was at 110.
Yeah, that's nuts. Crazy. He got all the Tom Brady. He had goats.
TaylorMade. Yeah.
He had the goats reaching out to him, man. It was insane.
I saw a tweet. It was 15 minutes after Tom Brady said, "You got this," he hit it. So maybe it was Brady's blessing.
Man, yeah, Brady does have some spiritual power in the spiritual realm. So maybe that's definitely a big guy to have on your side, because he does know how to win. He does know how to get it done. So there's definitely some sort of energy he has that's allowing outcomes to occur in his favor.
I think another reason it blew up so much is because whether you speak English or not, or who Jerry is, what Barstool is, it's so universally watchable. Oh, can this guy hit a hole in one? Okay, let's watch it, for an hour, or just have it on in the background. Like the stream numbers concurrently getting bigger because everyone's invested so much time in this. They're sitting there like, I don't want to miss it when he hits it. I'm going to keep watching. And I was one of those people. I was like, I don't want to miss it when he hits it. And then unfortunately, when I wasn't watching, he hit it.
Yeah, that's actually gold content. How many people are watching? Like 100,000?
Yeah, I think when he hit it, it was like just under 100,000, which is nuts considering he had less than that in subscribers the day before.
Yeah, but the Barstool beast behind him, it's definitely, they're really good at giving their talent platforms and kind of growing with them. I think their goal is really to like get them to go off and do their own thing, really, isn't it? Like they're kind of just like a platform that brings on talent, and their goal is to obviously keep them around, but like to make them into superstars, right?
Yeah, they want their talent to succeed because they're always waving the Barstool flag. You think about Big Cat, Frank the Tank, PFT, like Jersey Jerry, like these are guys in content that, you're right, they could probably do their own thing and be massive, but because they're all under that Barstool umbrella and they do content together, it makes it even more electric.
But like Caller Daddy, like I know there's like some other big people that started on Barstool that just turned into like superstars. Like there's some big names. I remember I was watching a video a month ago or something. I forget who the names were, but like some big names started on Barstool.
I know McAfee was on there for a bit and he blew up. Caller Daddy, I'm going to be honest, I don't know too much about, but
they're huge, dude.
I know they're
like
huge.
They were huge, and it was the one girl left, or they were doing a contract. They got too big for Barstool and they wanted too much money. And then I think, I'm not 100% sure on the story, but like beef between the two girls that were doing it. I think it was like Sophia and Alexandra. Yeah, and they were both like,
sure, I don't know.
I've definitely know a little bit about it, but I guess the one Alexandra took the puck, or the Caller Daddy, and then Sophia did her own thing, and then one of them left millions behind because they didn't sign the right deal. Yeah, it was pretty intense, but like they got so big, like they were huge. Like, yeah, you gotta look into that story.
I will, and I think I probably will. I think Barstool is it's insane. Like, think about their reach, right? They got Spit and Chicklets with hockey. They got Pat Beverly's podcast with basketball. They got Frank the Tank with baseball. They got Big Cat, like all these guys. They cover every sport. They cover entertainment. They cover fashion. They cover conspiracy theories. Like they literally have every section of the internet and fans tuned into their content because they have such a wide variety of creators and a wide variety of content niches that they're operating in.
Yeah, it's a beast of a media company for sure. Like definitely have done some really cool things, and I think you can learn a lot from them and what they've accomplished. And like Davey started, was it 2005, 4?
Something like that. He was doing like betting picks in a newspaper, and now look at him.
Yeah, like what a savage.
I love it. Well, salute
We're
to
starting our
Barstool,
own media
for sure.
company right now.
I don't want to spill too much of the beans here, but the blueprint is definitely out there. That's for sure.
You just gotta want it. You just gotta figure it out. You just gotta stay consistent and set some goals.
I love it. We were talking a little bit off camera about some wrestling. I did want to ask you, did you see The Rock come back to WWE this week?
The Rock.
Did you see how big
Is he
this guy
back?
looked? Yeah, he came out on Monday Night Raw. Guy was huge. Like, The Rock's 51 years old, and he looks like he's bigger than he was at 30. I don't understand how that guy, or how any human is that big. It's absurd.
The Jews? Is he on the Jews?
Well, probably, but like he says he doesn't do that stuff.
Oh. Yeah.
Why would he lie?
I don't know. I don't even know what he looks like. I did not see any of the footage, but the juice machine was back, eh?
Yeah, I'll send you a picture after, but like this guy, I mean, obviously there's something he's doing differently than the rest of us human beings, because I don't think anyone can eat as much as he does and work out as much as he does and look like that.
Yeah,
like,
you definitely have to work out a lot, but like...
But how much? Like, it feels like, doesn't your body at one point say, yo, you're not going to be The Rock, man. Chill out.
Well, then you're putting these supplements in your body that are giving you a little extra energy, a little extra mass. I don't even know how it works, but yeah, I think the juice might turn you into a beast. So
that's fair.
But don't take the juice, kids. No one take the juice. You don't need the juice. Au natural is the way to be. Au natural.
Unless you want to look like The Rock, then you probably need to.
You don't want to look like The Rock.
I don't know. I mean,
you want to look like Coach Chip. Solid figure. Just a solid figure.
Just built different.
No sunlight.
No grass touching in this house.
No grass touching. No, I definitely need to get out there and buzz around the gym today for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the gym. This shit inspires me, man. I mean, this guy's huge. He came back. He challenged the Universal Champion Roman Reigns without saying it. So looks like he's coming back to the ring, which would be insane. You know, he was the biggest guy for so many years. Then he fought John Cena. Then he left, and now he's coming back. I mean, as a fan, I'm excited. And I think that's something, even though you're not in the wrestling bubble, something you would probably be interested in seeing.
I did see the John Cena footage of him calling out The Rock for writing his script on his hand or something like that. Was that like real beef?
Yeah, that was real. Like The Rock came back and he had like notes on his wrist of what he had to say. And Cena saw it and didn't tell anyone. And so then on air, without telling The Rock, he's like, I don't need to write my notes on my wrist like you do. And everyone was like, what? What does that mean? And then The Rock was pissed. Like, that's when it's like, everyone knows it's predetermined, but like when you have the real stuff sprinkled in there, that's when it's at its peak.
So what happened after that?
Well, they fought, like they had their match and The Rock won. So they did two. The first one, The Rock won. And then the next year they did the rematch and Cena won. So it was like a 2-year story, basically. But then afterwards, Cena apologized to him and said, look, like I only did all that stuff to get you more invested and ultimately for us to sell more pay-per-views, right? So he had the business aspect in mind. He was bashing The Rock, but there was always that end goal of let's make this as big as possible.
They were looking at the money. They're looking at the greenbacks, were they?
Yeah, of course. You know, talk about guys who know how to sell fights. Look at McGregor. Do you see he announced his next fight, Michael Chandler at 185? I'm excited.
Yeah, 185. Is that going to be too heavy for Chandler?
I think so. I mean, it seems too heavy for neither of them have ever fought at that weight. McGregor,
both of them are going to be like no oxygen.
Yeah, it's going to be a quick fight. Take the under on that one.
You think?
It was just weird because like McGregor tweeted, he put out a video on Twitter announcing the fight, but Dana never confirmed it. The UFC never confirmed it. We didn't see that graphic of like this is when it is, this is the card, this is the fight, this is the weight. Nothing. So is Conor just trolling? Because like Conor's notorious for trolling on Twitter. Is this a real fight? I don't even know.
Yeah, I guess. If they haven't posted about it, Dana hasn't said anything. It's definitely not a real fight right now.
No, it can't be. But I mean, why would it be fake? Like,
maybe putting pressure.
If it was fake,
on
wouldn't they come out and say, "Hey, this isn't real," versus ignoring it?
They could have said like put pressure on Dana. It's like everyone knows we're fighting. Like, or maybe it's a marketing too. It's all marketing. He's on Twitter marketing like a marketing machine. He's trying to ruffle some feathers, get some people to talk. Maybe trying to sell some more Proper 12 right now. Get a little engagement at the new year. He's like, let me get back to being in the limelight real quick for 2024.
Proper 12.
So who knows?
Yeah, I mean it's working.
Proper 12.
Ironically, he was drinking wine when he announced it, not Proper 12. So you would think, right? Slamming Proper 12 as he announced.
Interesting.
So maybe he has a wine company coming out we don't know about.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, he's a businessman, right? That guy was, bottom, poor, living out of his gym, worked his way up to the top of the UFC, left the UFC, fought Floyd Mayweather, became one of the biggest stars in the world. Whether you're a fan of UFC or not, everyone knew Conor McGregor, came back, didn't look great in the comeback. So, this is comeback number 2. So it's probably his last run, maybe even his last fight ever. So I think this pay-per-view is going to do incredible, whether it's at 185 or not. I don't even think it even matters who Conor's fighting. That pay-per-view is going to sell. And as a fan of Conor's, not necessarily outside the cage, but inside, I'm excited.
I'm excited.
I am too. I think I hope he wins, because then it's like, when's the next fight? Because if he loses, it'll probably be the retirement. He'll do movies, he'll do coaching, whatever. But if he wins, then all of a sudden, is Conor McGregor going to work his way back into the rankings? Can he win a title? Like, there's so much intrigue here that really makes me curious. 1, if the fight's going to happen, and 2, when it does. If and when it does, what's next for the Notorious One?
Is the Notorious One going to bounce his head off the canvas?
I mean, Chandler's a beast. If you see his training videos, he trains like a machine. And Conor, we don't see him training. We see him on a yacht, drinking wine, smoking cigars. So it's really, again, that's what he's putting on social media. Maybe he's being a nightmare in the gym, but Chandler's putting all his training online, and that guy is a machine. So it'll be close, but heart says Conor, brain says Chandler.
Okay. Yeah. I feel like you don't want to put all your training online. I feel like that could be like a little disadvantage, because, I mean, you probably don't put your best stuff on there, but yeah, Conor not having any training footage is like, you don't know what this guy's doing. You're like, oh, like you overlook him, and behind the scenes, he's becoming a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and he's, you know what I mean? He's figuring out how to pick Chandler apart. But yeah, that's always interesting, because now more and more people are trying to like get their footage out for their YouTube channels. They're trying to show their training, and obviously these other camps are going to be studying what they're seeing. But I mean, you can be deceptive and, give them some crappy hooks so they think that you're a little more sloppy than you are. But yeah, I'm excited to see what happens in the UFC this year. It's always fun throwing a big card on and watching some guys fight to the near death. It's definitely a tough watch. I was watching the old GSP verse. It was the one in the Rogers Center in Toronto when he was fighting to keep his belt at welterweight or whatever.
Was it Koscheck? Was that who he fought?
Was it Koscheck? Yeah, it was the guy that was really good at jiu-jitsu.
Okay. What remind me what happened in this fight?
Well, GSP ended up winning, but his eye got poked, and then he couldn't see out of his eye.
It was Jake Shields. I just discovered it was Jake Shields.
There it is. That was Shields. Yeah, it was Shields. And it was just cool seeing the whole Toronto crowd going crazy. Like, it'd be nice to have a Canadian that was the top of a division.
I think we're on the way. There's a guy, Mike Mallow, who he's on the upcoming Toronto card. He was just on the Vancouver card. He had a crazy knockout. Like, I think he was doing some stuff with the Nelk boys. Like, I think people are trying to, like, he's obviously not on the skill level of GSP, but that's not to say he can't get there. But I think the UFC is trying to start, marketing some new Canadian fighters so that when they do come to Canada, these guys are, front and center on these cards.
Yeah, that would be really cool to see some GSP like up and coming Canadian that's just dismantling a division for 5 years.
Yeah, I mean the headliner of UFC in Toronto is Sean Strickland. Like, who the hell saw that coming?
Did you see him on the Theo Vaughn podcast?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. He just comes across as such a phony hypocrite, personally, because like he goes out there and he attacks everyone. He went after Ian Gary and his wife, and then the minute people turn the tables and start, oh, you can't joke about that. That's not funny. Like, if you can't take it but you can dish it, that comes across as super lame to me.
Yeah, he was talking about his like childhood trauma.
Yeah, but he pokes at other people's insecurities. So I just find it interesting that when people poke at his, it's too far.
I think that could be just because he has so much to deal with. That's kind of how you reflect, or you start, because you've been hurt so much that you start hurting, like hurt people type thing. So maybe that's his way of coping with it. But yeah, that was an interesting. I didn't really watch the whole podcast. I just watched that segment thanks to TikTok, and it takes the 4-hour long podcast and gives me a nice minute 30 snippet of it. So I just watched a couple snippets, but that was interesting just because, yeah, he was pretty vulnerable on that one. And Theo Vaughn ended up crying too. It was like an emotional episode for sure, or moment in the episode.
It was.
Like Theo Vaughn wasn't cracking jokes.
He tried, and I saw he started crying. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah,
I can't do it." He tried his Theo Vaughn there.
Theo Vaughn.
Did you see though what Sean Strickland did to Ian Gary? Did you hear about that stuff?
No.
So Sean Strickland went out and said that Ian Gary, who's a UFC fighter, his wife made a book before she met Ian Gary, how to become a wife of a girlfriend of an athlete, like how to basically work your way up to be the wife of a professional athlete, to kind of, dive into his clout, share it kind of thing, take that money. But she wrote that before they started dating, and she's also like 10 years older than him. So Strickland was like, your wife's a predator, your wife's a gold digger, like you need to get out of this relationship, blah, blah, blah. So like really public stuff, going up against this guy, attacking his wife, really just ruining his image and ultimately hurting his family because he has kids too. So that was pretty recent. So when I see Sean crying about people bringing up family stuff, it's like, did you not just do that to one of your coworkers a few weeks ago? I don't like how that sat with me.
Yeah, no, that's definitely... Yeah, it's definitely an interesting situation. I don't know enough about it. I didn't see what Sean says. I know people don't like him, and I know some people love him because he just kind of speaks his mind. And that's why I think it was so surprising to see that episode where he got so vulnerable, just because he is such a kind of hard head most of the time. But I didn't even know who he was until he fought for that belt. So I'm not a huge UFC follower in terms of like understanding every one of these. Like I know the big names, I watch the big cards. I don't know who's upcoming in the division, but like I watch more UFC than the average person for sure.
That's fair.
That makes any sense.
I think, yeah, Strickland, an interesting way to sell a fight 3 weeks before a pay-per-view main event. You kind of break character and really just show everyone your vulnerable side. It was just interesting timing for me. You can clearly see I'm not much of a Strickland fan, so I hope Drickus Duplessis,
I could tell,
wipes the floor with him, to be honest.
Do you think Strickland's going to absolutely dominate him?
Okay.
I know. I said,
you got to get to that event and watch.
Do you think Strickland's going to dominate him?
No, I think Strickland. I hope Strickland gets his ass handed to him.
He beat Adesanya, didn't he?
He did beat Adesanya.
Yeah, that
was a very weird fight because like Adesanya just looked like timid. Like he is the most scared I've ever seen Adesanya look. Like
that's because Strickland was so calm.
Yeah, I don't think he can do that twice and win. But again, this is a lot of talking out of emotion, not necessarily facts. But I would like to see DDP knock out Sean Strickland.
I don't even know who the other guy is.
Oh, he's nasty. He's South African. He beat Robert Whittaker, who's a guy that's fought Adesanya a few times and lost him. Yeah, so he knocked him out Everyone thought that was like a major upset. And then he was supposed to fight Adesanya because they're both African. Remember, they were like yelling at each other in the ring for a little bit. He got hurt, and so then Strickland was fighting Adesanya, and then Strickland won. So this is kind of like the makeup fight. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
And that's in how many weeks?
I think 2 weeks from today, Jan 20th. So I'll be in and around.
It's gonna be a movie, dude. It's gonna be.
I'll be there.
It's gonna be UFC, then the All-Star game, like a week later, 2 weeks later.
Yeah, and then Super Bowl too. Like it's just for sports fans, Canadians. Like this is just a big time of year.
Yeah, it is. It's a huge time of year.
Yeah. I do want to talk a little bit about the NFL playoffs. You know, you said you don't watch a lot of football, but if you don't watch a lot of football or you're a casual fan, I think we're in store for one of the biggest NFL playoffs in recent memory. There are like 8 teams right now that you can argue can make it to and win the Super Bowl, 4 in the AFC, 4 in the NFC. It's nuts right now. You got the Chiefs, you know, they're not looking good, but you never know with the Chiefs. They can just shock everyone and make it to the Super Bowl and no one will be surprised. The Bills, you remember we were at Real Sports and the Bills lost that game on the field goal to the Broncos. Everyone thought their season was over after that field goal debacle. And now, you know, they might win their division and they're probably the hottest team going into the playoffs. Then you got Baltimore, you got Miami. Like, you want the Bills to win the Super Bowl?
Give me the Bills.
Okay, I like it. Josh Allen's a dog. It's funny. Stephon Diggs isn't doing anything. Remember, we drafted him in fantasy. He's done nothing this year. But the Bills are playing lights out without him.
Oh, I didn't even look at my fantasy lineup. I don't even know what happened in that.
I drafted him for you because I was like he had a good start to the year, but I think I saw a thing in like 2 months. Diggs hasn't gone over 100 receiving yards, and the Bills are playing insane. So it is a great pick to take the Bills right now. I'm sticking with Baltimore. I think Lamar Jackson is he's having one of those years, and that team's clicking on all cylinders, offensively, defensively. They just added a running back. I think this is Baltimore's year. I'll lock it in officially on this podcast. Baltimore's winning the Super Bowl.
What about the Dolphins? What about Tyreek? I'm just taking that thing for 200 yards every night.
They're nasty, but they've lost a lot of players on defense recently. A lot of season-ending injuries. Bradley Chubb, Jalen Ramsey's hurt.
Chubb's hurt?
Jalen Phillips. Yeah, so they lost some guys last week, the week before. So I don't know if they have the defense to win a Super Bowl right now, but like you said, if Tyreek's putting up 200 yards a game, doesn't even matter how good your defense is. He's like an Austin Matthews type player to put him in your world.
Pappy.
He's like the Pappy, I guess, of the NFL. That's a good comparison.
Okay, so he's like the offensive threat, touchdown threat.
Yeah, like before he got hurt, he was on pace to break the record for most receiving yards ever. And it's like this guy will catch a ball for 10 yards and then run 80 yards down the field. And no one can catch him. He's Cheetah, right? He is like Cheetah because he's so fast. I love it.
I like that.
So that's those are probably the 4 teams in the AFC, right? Chiefs, Bills, Dolphins, Ravens. You're saying Bills. I'm saying Ravens. I'd love to see that game. That would be an insane game.
Yeah, I feel like it's the Bills' year. I'm feeling it. I was in Buffalo, had some buffalo wings last year. And they're the closest to Canada, so let's go out there and flow.
If they have a home playoff game, would you be down to go?
No.
You want to drive down to Buffalo? I'd love to.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I wanted to go this week. They're playing Miami. I thought it was in Buffalo.
You know how crazy that border would be?
Dude, I did it last year.
So insane.
I did it.
A playoff game?
Yeah, I went to the Bills-Bengals divisional round. Joe Burrow versus Josh Allen.
Yeah,
I bought tickets 2 days before.
I'm not a big enough NFL fan to leave my house to go watch a game in the stadium.
It was awesome, man.
Too much chaos for me.
It's chaos, but it's
like I just can't. I just couldn't do it. I'd just be like, oh, like I would have to. I'm not invested enough into the either team
That's fair, but you're more just you're not there for fandom. You're there for the game.
Drink. So it's like
what's that?
And I don't drink, so it's like
that could sway.
It's a drinking environment for sure. Everyone's just gonna be wavy. Everyone's gonna be. It's just not my scene. I don't think.
It's also minus 15 when you're sitting in the stands.
Yeah, I think the flat screen lean back on the couch with some nachos would be a better call. No, just as someone who's not a big football fan,
No,
it's a better call.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair. We talked about the AFC. You can't forget. You go look at the NFC too. The 49ers are just loaded. Absolutely loaded at every position. They lost to the Ravens, but I don't think they're worried about that. You got the Eagles, who made it last year. Jalen Hurts, who's a dog. The Cowboys, who are kind of like the Leafs of the NFL, where they look nice in the regular season every year. Everything's clicking offensively, but I do think there's something special about that team. And then the Rams. You can't forget the Rams. Matt Stafford, Cooper Kupp. They won it 2 years ago. Like, we're in for a very exciting playoffs, I believe.
I'm amped. Did you have a game for me? An NFL game?
NFL game for you to watch?
So you said you had a game.
Play. Well, I think in the spirit of the NFL playoffs, Chippy, you've stated before, you watch the sport, but you're not, the biggest NFL fan. So I do want to play a game.
I don't watch. I watch zero. I watch 0 games.
I'm trying to gas you. You had a fantasy team though. That's big.
I had a fantasy team. Yes.
Yeah.
And I didn't.
Did you win that league? Do you know?
I haven't even opened the app since week 1.
I mean, from what I remember, I think we drafted a pretty good team, but I guess we'll see.
Should I check?
Check after.
Okay.
Because I do want to play this. As you see it on Inside the NBA, they do with Charles Barkley, who he played for. We're doing who he played for, NFL edition. I'm going to name you 5 NFL players. All you need to do is tell me what team they play for. You like the sound of that?
Okay.
All right, we're going to start with an easy one. Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry.
Running back.
Yeah, I know who Derrick Henry is. I know who he is. I'm just trying to think of the team right now. Derrick Henry. I know it's a dark jersey. Is it Seattle?
It is the Tennessee Titans.
Tennessee Titan. I knew it was the same color jersey. I knew it was dark.
I was like, you're on the right track.
I knew it was the Titans. I literally knew. I knew the color of the jersey. Okay,
right, number 2, Mike Evans.
Mike Evans plays for the jersey's red. I know that, and he plays for the Buccaneers.
Yes, that is correct.
Thank you.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Mike Evans. All right, I'll give you another one. Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase. He's on the Giants, right?
He is on the Cincinnati Bengals.
I had no idea. I had no idea. I don't even know who Jamar Chase is.
Well, when you said his name, I'm like, okay, that sounds like you know who it is. You know that kind of thing.
No, I wouldn't even know what position he plays.
All right, I'll give you a name but a man who's been around the league, Odell Beckham Jr.
Oh, I saw who he was playing for the other day. OBJ. It was like a random team. I was surprised he was on them. Cleveland?
He was on Cleveland.
Okay, give me another guess.
2 years ago. So that's 2 years ago he was on Cleveland.
Oh, yeah, he's on some other team now. He's
same division.
He's not on the Giants. He's not on the Giants anymore.
No. The team he's on is in the same division as Cleveland, if that helps.
Doesn't help. Really doesn't help. Like, it was like a random team. Is he on Buffalo?
He is on the Baltimore Ravens.
Baltimore, that's who it was. It started with a B. I knew it started with a B.
Random. Like, they're pretty hype, I'd say. We'll do one more for you here. Let's think about this one. Dak Prescott.
He's on Dallas.
Yes.
Cowboys.
One. That was quick.
Give me another one.
I'll give you another one. Okay. Okay. So I want someone that like you'd be like, yeah, I know who that is, but then also like maybe I don't know who that is.
No, give me someone I know who that is.
You want a lob?
Just give me someone that I know. Like I don't need
Aaron
Justin
Donald.
Herbert. Like
Aaron Donald.
well, he was on the Chargers.
Where is he now? Where is he now? I can't answer that. Where is he now?
Aaron Donald. He's on the Chargers.
He was never on the Chargers.
Was he never on the Chargers?
He was never on the Chargers.
Aaron Donald. Okay, Aaron Donald. I know what team. Like I know. The problem with me, I just don't know like the name of these teams.
Like you know colors. Like you seem to know what color jerseys these guys have.
Yeah, I know what color jersey he has on. Like, and I do know what team Aaron Donald was on. Like,
he won the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Super Bowl,
I know.
Lost to the Patriots.
1 sec. Rams.
That was your hint. Boom. It is the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah, same thing. What did I say? Chargers and Rams are the same team, bro.
Same city.
It's the same team. It's the same
I
team.
mean, their fans would disagree. The Chargers are a joke. They just fired their coach. They've been mediocre forever. The Rams, I'd say Rams are a sleeper team to make a run this year in the playoffs. I mean, if I say that about enough teams, eventually one will hit, right? So
exactly.
3 for 6, 50%. Yeah, 50%. We could do a hockey
about right.
next time.
That's about right.
You try to get me with some hockey.
Let's do one right now. Let's do one right now.
Okay. It's time for Who We Play For NHL edition.
All right, you have to guess what team this NHL player plays for. Mark Scheifele.
He still play for the Jets?
Correct.
Okay, I was like, did he get traded? Like, okay.
It's a good one. Adrian Kempe.
The Ducks?
Do you know who he is?
Yeah, I've heard that name. I feel like I just watched the game the other day. He was the Kings.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, at least play. Okay, yeah, California. I knew he was a California team. All right, okay.
Good. Okay, I'm gonna go Nazem Kadri.
Oh, my boy, Calgary. My boy.
Okay. That's good.
Muslims in the league, man. I rate that guy.
Okay, I'm gonna go Matty Beniers.
Kraken.
Nice. Good.
Oh,
good,
see, like people sit there and Prince doesn't know hockey. Prince knows a little bit about hockey.
Good. I'm gonna go with
obscure names. Like a young guy. I'm not good with the young guys, mind you.
Bo Horvat.
Is he still with the Canucks? I'm gonna say Canucks. Yeah, he's still. Oh, he's not. Okay, all right.
No.
Okay, I was a little cocky there. Horvat. I'm gonna say Nashville.
Ooh, Prince doesn't know hockey.
Geographically, am I getting further or closer to where he plays? From Vancouver to Nashville.
Where he plays, there's three teams in that exact same area.
California. Sharks.
No.
You're on the wrong side.
Islanders.
Yeah. Okay. I was like 3 teams in California, 3 teams in New York, 50-50. We'll go there. Okay.
Okay, let's do one more.
These are fun. These are going to get clipped up. These are fun.
Yeah, this is fun. Let's go. Owen Tippett. Played against him growing up. I played against him.
So he's locally sourced. Arizona? Owen Tippett. That name's like familiar, right? Like he should. I don't think he plays for a Canadian team. I'm just thinking out loud here. Unless I just Buffalo? No, that's the other. There's another Owen on Buffalo, right? Yeah.
Philadelphia Flyers.
Philadelphia Flyers. Okay. Their game was literally on TV an hour ago. I was looking at it, and that's hilarious. But
okay, let's go. We'll do one more.
Yeah, I need to end on a good one here.
Okay,
this is fun.
Logan Cooley.
Oh, Arizona.
Okay, well I didn't. Okay, let me redo that. Let me do another one. That one's too easy. That was way too easy.
From betting, I know that name.
Okay, well let me give you one more here. Let's do. Patrick Laine.
Ooh. Fortnite guy. That's like the first thing that comes to mind is he's a Fortnite guy.
Fortnite guy for sure. He's definitely
no, I think walls. We talked about because he plays with a guy that you know, Columbus, right? He plays with your boy.
Yeah, Columbus.
Okay, I remember. I feel like we've talked about him.
Plays with Fantilli. Plays with my guy Fantilli. Yep.
Shout out Fantilli.
Shout out to Fantilli. Sniper.
I like these game segments.
Yeah, the games are lit.
And I hope if you're watching or listening, you didn't fast forward ahead. You played along. Maybe you knew him faster than we did. If you guessed every single player in the NFL and every single player in the NHL correctly, comment down below or respond and let me know, and I'll send you something. Shout out all the listeners. Shout out all the viewers. This is our first episode of the new year, episode 4. We talked about this prior. I was going to wait till the new year to start. This would be 1. No, let's start right away. This is episode 4. So if you're a new listener, welcome. If you're an old listener, welcome back. I appreciate you all tuning in every week, leaving some positive feedback. The clips are doing really well. Shout out Gabe, the editor, for making those up.
Shout out to Gaby.
He's been putting in work with these clips. So follow Prince Huda Picks on Instagram, on TikTok, Prince Huda Sports on TikTok, YouTube. Everything's in the corner there. If you're watching, if you're listening, you know where to find us. But
only follow Prince.
Appreciate you all. Yeah, follow Prince. No, follow Chippy too. I mean, he's only at 600,000. You know, I think he could do a little bit better. Follow him too.
Only follow Prince.
Again, appreciate you all for watching. Appreciate you all for listening. Subscribe for weekly episodes every Monday. And Coach Chippy and I will see you next week.